She called my mother dozens of times about the show I was putting on in my backyard. While my bathing suit was perfectly decent, prudish by today's standards, nothing but a plain old one-piece Jansen, Mrs. White used to go on about what a scandal that was for her baby, my mother. Well, she tries to be polite, but her temper is so quick. I don't know what Margaret White said to finally push her over the edge. Call me the whore of Babylon, I suppose. But my mother told her our yard was our yard, and I'd go out and dance the hoochie coochie buck naked if it was her pleasure and mine. She also told her that she was a dirty old woman with a can of worms for a mind. There was a lot of shouting, but that was the upshot of it. I wanted to stop sunbathing right then. I hate trouble. It upsets my stomach. But Mom, when she gets a case, she's a terror. She came home from Jordan Marsh with a little white bikini, told me I might as well get as much sun as I could. After all, she said, the privacy of our own backyard and all. Stella Horan smiles a little at the memory and crushes out her cigarette. I tried to argue with her, tell her I didn't want any more trouble, didn't want to be a pawn in their backyard back fence war. Didn't do a bit of good, though. Trying to stop my mom when she gets a bee in her hat is like trying to stop a Mack truck going downhill with no brakes. Actually, there was more to it. I was scared of the whites. Real religious nuts and are nothing to fool with. Sure, Ralph White was dead, but what if Margaret still had that 38 around? But there I was on Saturday afternoon, spread out on a blanket in the backyard, covered with suntan lotion and listening to Top 40. My mom hated that stuff, and usually she'd yell at me at least twice for me to turn it down before she went nuts. But that day, she came out and turned it up twice herself. I started to feel like the whore of Babylon myself. But nobody came out of the White's place. Not even the old lady to hang her wash. That's something else. She never hung any undies on the back line, not even Carrie's, and she was only 3 back then. Always in the house. I started to relax. I guess I was thinking Margaret must have taken Carrie to the park to worship God in the raw or something. Anyway, after a while I rolled on my back and put one arm over my eyes and dozed off. When I woke up, Carrie was standing next to me and looking down at my body. She breaks off, frowning into space. Outside, the cars are whizzing by endlessly. I can hear the steady little whine of my tape recorder makes, but it all seems a little too brittle, too glossy, just a cheap patina over a dark world, a real world where nightmares happen.